Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Trade Stock. I'm your host, Justin White, and today we are diving into the HOA world with another podcaster, actually two of them, Mike Perlof and Kara Foley of the HOA Pros Podcast. If you guys haven't checked that podcast out, give it a listen. I was on their show sometime last year, like a month or two ago. It was a great time. I had a blast down in Southern California. Went and did it live in their studio. And I had so much fun. I said, hey, you guys should come on Trade Stock and we should talk about HOA stuff. So this is a super fun podcast. We're going to dive right into the middle of the show. But before we begin, I just want to give them a shout out. They have been podcasting for 5 years as of this month. And it's just an incredible trajectory that they're on and that our entire industry is on. The HOA industry is an industry that most people kind of forget about and only think about if you live in an HOA or you happen to be a vendor to an HOA. But it truly is where so many unsung heroes live, operate, and work. And the opportunity to talk about it is rare. And I really enjoy this conversation with Kara and Mike. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
Someone commented on our 5-year post the other day and said, your show has become a staple of our industry. And that really resonated with me because I was like, I really think that it has. And I love that just because Mike and I both collectively love to give back to the industry in a lot of various ways. But it was neat to hear that from a colleague and then also reflect on how big it's gotten, at the national level. People run into us like at national trade shows and they're kind of starstruck, which is like so crazy for us.
It's really embarrassing.
Especially because Mike, both and I are performers. And so we've been on stage and I was in a band and I'm on iTunes and to have people come up and be like, oh, you're that girl from the podcast. I'm like, that's so crazy.
If you guys could only have right now, if we could play a reel of my family and my wife totally roasting me too.
Oh,
they're like,
yeah, I get roasted all the time.
Oh, dude, they love it. They're like, oh, the big podcast guy's here. I'm like, I freaking hate you so much.
Do they say that? I didn't know that. That's
Sarah
funny.
Freaking loves it. She's like she'll know I'm going to a trade show and she's like, "Do sign any autographs today?" I'm like, I hate
Did you bring your pen?
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
But it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because
but
we're
awesome.
we're the most normal, we're not
we're not
celebrity
famous.
people. No, we're the most normal, down to earth, which I think is why we do a good job in the first place. We're just normal. I don't know. I like when people ask why are you so good at sales? And I'm like, because I'm just normal. I don't know. I don't try.
I'm human.
Yeah, I don't really
you
try
don't try to oversell.
Sell. I just try to be helpful. And, I think that's what leads to success in the first place.
Sales is relationships. You can try to shove your product down someone's throat, but if you don't come in with a genuine heart and a genuine care for humans, that's going to show through. And I just feel we care about this industry. And I feel like that's why the podcast has been successful, because everything we do is we're trying to make this industry better and easier, because it keeps getting harder and people are starting to kind of not want to do it because it is getting hard. And, it's people getting hard, but also legislation constantly changing for us, especially in California. And it's just if we can bring some joy and some peace and just something better to the industry, I think it makes a difference. And it's I think that impacts people. And when we first started the show and we were kind of just winging it, I talk a lot about this industry is hard and we need to be honest about it. We can't just say it's butterflies and rainbows all the time. It's hard and it takes a lot of organization. It takes a lot of hard work. And we had someone email us and she's like, I felt like you were seeing me through the podcast and I felt heard. And I was like, that just really made me excited to do more of what we have done so far. So,
and I think it takes all that, and then you got to sprinkle in cuss words.
You love to bring up the cuss words. That's so funny.
Well, because I love that people go, you guys talk about stuff, but you keep it real.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's because when we're talking about backflows, I said shit and not, we keep it real. Yeah. And that's why it's fun to listen to, because it's you go, not to knock, we both speak at luncheons all the time. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't cuss. And if you did, it would be very
awkward.
And, that's kind of, I think, the fun part about getting some education through podcasts is typically you listen to podcasts and you're in your headphones, right? I mean, I don't know. I listen to my car,
you're driving or
yeah. And so it doesn't matter. Like, I'm always the guy at the gym. I'm like working out, and all of a sudden I just start cracking up because whatever podcast I'm on has me going, and I'm like, oh,
the voices in your head.
The voices in my head are cracking me up. But yeah, I think keeping it real is a fresh way to learn some of the stuff. It is really serious and stale and boring. When you learn about insurance, no offense, insurance people, we love you. Even me, construction defect law is
it sounds super sexy.
Yeah,
right.
If you want to fall asleep at night, go read some legalese
or CC&Rs.
And I mean, we try and keep it lively and fun, and I think it's more easily digestible that way.
Yeah, people
I totally
remember
agree.
it more. Yeah,
yeah.
Because I mean, we're all so busy. Like, what's the first thing you do when you're bored in an environment? You pick up your phone, and then you're like buried in your phone, and you're like, yeah, I'm in this class, I'm listening. And I feel like because of the podcast being fun and kind of having these things that people don't really expect, they're really more engaged. They're like, oh, Mike's going to say something crazy, or Kara's going to say something crazy, or the guest is going to say something crazy. Because we've had some really bizarre stories come forward. And then I think that's what people remember. And then they learn stuff along the way. But for me, it's just letting people know we're all in this together. We're not competitors. We're not against each other. I know there is some people out there that feel like there is competition, but really it's I just want to give everybody a hug and be like, we're all going to get through this, because some days are really shitty. And I feel like some people just need to hear you hear that sometimes there's bad days, and we'll get through it. Because, there's some people that, for lack of a better term, drink the Kool-Aid, and they're like, oh yeah, it's all butterflies and rainbows all the time. And it's not. And I mean, I'm a really positive person, but there are some really shitty days.
Yeah. No, I am too. I'm super positive, always optimistic. But when you ignore the shitty days and the bad days and the big issues that happen, and you only talk about the good stuff on a podcast or something, then it makes people feel not heard. They're like, man,
totally.
they really aren't addressing the shitty stuff that happens in this industry, especially in HOAs.
It's hard. I mean, because there's so much passion in what we do, because, by and large, it's people's largest asset. So they're going to really be opinionated and want things done a certain way. And a lot of that falls on the shoulders of the managers. And I don't think that we tell managers enough, I know this week was rough, but you really did a great job, and we appreciate you, even though you probably don't feel appreciated. And so I try to make a point to tell my team that they're doing a great job, and really just surround them with positivity, because I feel like that fills up their bucket, so that when the bad days come, they can let it roll off their shoulders a little bit more, rather than taking everything personally. Because I had somebody years ago go, God, you really you're kind of a bitch. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh, shit.
And she goes, that's not what I meant. How are you so bitchy to people? I go, wait, what are you saying? She's like, well, you have no problem saying no. And I go, well, that's not being bitchy. That's confidence. I researched the answer, but so many people don't want to go against a board member or a homeowner and say no. So they defer it and they say, oh, I'll talk to the board, or I'll put it on the agenda, when the answer is still no. It's not going to change. And so it's not about being bitchy. It's about finding the answer and being confident in the response. And when, stuff comes your way that's negative, you just let it roll off.
Dude, next time someone's a total bitch to me, I can't wait to go, you are so confident.
Oh my God, I love that.
If anyone ever yells at me again, I'm going to be like, wow, how are you so confident?
Yeah.
You are so confident. That will come off so conceited.
Your confidence is just amazing.
Are you guys ready for that? I'm going to try that. I can't wait.
You should try it with your wife. I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can see that going over super well.
I can see me sleeping outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be not good.
You'd be outside, but you would have built yourself a house to sleep outside in the time that it took her to.
I'll be in the
get out
motorhome.
there.
Be in the motorhome.
That's funny.
So tell us, remind me about your podcast that you do. This one.
Yeah. So this is Trade Stock, and basically, I started this with Maggie Wymore, who works at a software company, actually 3 years ago, and we started it. It sounds a lot similar to how you guys kind of started. We were like, hey, we were at a conference, a landscape conference on technology, and we were at dinner and we were having a great time. And we were like, man, it'd be fun to keep this going. We should start a podcast sometime and have conversations like we do at the steakhouse at the conference.
Exactly.
So we're like, yeah, let's do it. And we started it a month later, and we did one show a month. And then we kind of fell off, and then she took a new job or a promotion at her tech company, and she was like, hey, I'm going to step off the podcast. I was like, all right, well, I had two choices. I could double down, or I could retire it. I decided to double down. And so I've been doing one guest a week for the last year or so. Okay. And it's been super fun.
Dude, I have the raddest trade guy for you.
Throw him to me. Yep, I love it.
Yeah, this guy Matt Murray. He has it's called Blue Collar King.
Okay,
you got to check it out. Shout out to Matt. He's like a family friend, but he's a pilot too. He's a freaking stud, absolute stud. He's like nationwide HVAC, multiple different companies, but just epic, dude. Builds his own trophy truck race cars. Basically, they call it a sand.
This is my guy.
Sand Jeep. Yeah. They call it a sand Jeep, but it's it's just a trophy truck, like straight axle. He's so rad, man crush. Anyways, he wrote a book. It's like his whole thing is Blue Collar King, and he's got a bunch of books on trades and growing trades. It's a lot of it is HVAC focus, but total rad stud dude. But
I love
what was I gonna say? I was gonna say for people in different trades and industries that are doing podcasts, one of the things I really think that has skyrocketed our podcast is having the accredited
the education component.
The education component.
Yeah.
And I know there's so many. I can't speak for any other industry. Like obviously you're at a landscape trade show, but some of say the irrigation certifications and stuff, I'm sure they have to have hours of continuing education in each different
100%. Tell us a little bit more about that. How'd you guys get your accreditation? What is it? And maybe people listening to this podcast, what could they get from listening to HOA Pro Podcast?
Yeah. So I do marketing for Fenton Grant Law Firm, and we put on, in our industry, they call them lunch and learns, right? I'll bring in some cool taco catering, and we'll talk about what construction defect law is. And so I used to do those all the time. And then the accrediting organization for community management is called CAMICB, Community Association Managers International Certification Board. And it's a big fancy organization, but I realized that I could get those little hour lunch breaks accredited to count for 1 hour continuing education. And this was 10 or 15 years ago.
You were a pioneer.
Yeah, back then it was I felt like I found this little secret sauce. And it's funny because I've been preaching this since I did it. And at the time, it would take a couple months to get them accredited. You'd have to submit, 5 pages of paperwork, and it'd take me, half a day or a day to submit it, and I'd be off to the races. So I started way back doing that. And then when we were doing the podcast, I don't know, we started having people that wanted to talk a little more meat and potatoes than, small talk on a podcast.
Yeah.
And so I had the idea, how could I get these accredited? And I pitched the idea to CAMICB organization, which is, they're normal people like us, and they started listening to podcasts. And so the way that we do it, because immediately people think well, how can they prove that they listen to the whole course, right?
Right.
So it was like perfect for me because in the legal world, attorneys already do that a lot. And I heard some of the attorneys here listening to their continuing education, and there's a numerical code. So like you're listening to, and it's legal stuff. So it's the put yourself to sleep legalese stuff. But I'd hear them in the other room, and then I'd hear next number is 4, and I'm like, what the heck was that? I asked them, and they're like, oh yeah, when you listen to the course, there's a secret code, and you got to write it down, and you got to email it. So anyways, I pitched the same concept to CAM ICB, and we were the first podcast to have an accredited course, which is super cool. Like, and again, it's just something that adds value to the listeners. They still get the same fun content, the same style. We try and, we do have to write an outline and follow an outline for the course.
Yeah.
And so we do have to stay on track in our podcast. But it's still the same conversation. We still, the one we did about backflows.
Oh, God, it was so funny.
It went off the rails, dude.
It was so good.
How do you not talk about that?
That's the best training. It really is, though. Like people, education and training, that then you actually remember it.
Right.
Yeah. And the guy, San Diego backflow, right? Or no, wait.
Pacific
backflow in San Diego is hilarious.
No, they were
dude.
Great.
He was so funny. He had so many poop jokes.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, bam, bam, bam. But so anyways, if you're a trade and, say you're a plumber and you're, I don't know, let me go back, like landscape maybe, like if you have irrigation
for sure. Yeah.
Like, you'd be shocked how receptive our body of like accrediting or credentialing or whatever you want to call it, they were they did call me. They were like, what is this? Like, hold on. Like,
they got this random email from Mike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah. I definitely had to walk them through it. It helped to have the legal world kind of case study of like, look, the attorneys do this. So I don't know why we couldn't. But honestly, that adds so much value to a podcast. And then it's also like a little digital, like business card to send to someone. Like it has more value than just like, hey, listen to my podcast. You can go tell someone like, hey, get an hour continuing education credit. Like you got to get it somehow. Might as well listen to Karen and I talk shit.
Yeah. And the thing is so what happens is managers get really busy, and every 2 years they have to have 16 hours of continuing education credit. And a lot of times people put it on the back burner until they get that renewal notice, and then they panic and they're like, how am I going to go to 16 hours of webinars and lunches and, lunch and learns? And so we've got 21 hours of accredited education now. And so people can completely recertify just with the podcast. And so what we were finding is like, people were emailing us going, oh my gosh, I listened to your podcast last night while I was making dinner for my family, and I got an hour of continuing education credits. Or I have a 2-hour round trip commute and I've just listened to 8 hours of your show. Here's, my request for certification. And we started just sending out the certs. And then we got to a point last year, we issued 933 hours of continuing education credit. Whoa. And I think we're one of like the leading educators like in that space, even with lunch and learns, because imagine how many lunch and learns you'd have to do to get 933 people. Because I would say on average, like at a management company, you might get 10 or 15.
Yeah.
And people just really appreciated the on-demand nature. Like I can do it at the gym. I can do it while I'm driving. I can do it while I'm doing laundry, making dinner. And that's what managers need, because we can't take 2-3 hours out of our day to just sit there and get re-educated. In a perfect world, you would be able to like separate that time out, but it's just not the reality. Like 3 hours, 16 hours, like that's huge for a manager to lose. So I think that's been, and I think that's how CAI National has really gotten behind us, is because we do offer something so special to this industry. Like out of 235 shows, we've got 21 that are quote unquote educational, but they're really all educational. It's just we have 21 that are accredited and you can actually get recertified. So we're still building more. We're always asking people like, hey, come on the show. Let's do an accredited show. And now they've gone to a new system. It's definitely a lot easier than what Mike experienced in the beginning. So it's really streamlined. So it's been fun. It's been fun. And it was neat running into them at National. They're like, oh my gosh, you're the podcast again. And it's just like, it's just so cool to just have that reputation and have it be such a resource to the industry.
It's so huge. And I, for one, I learn way better when I'm listening to a podcast or an audiobook or something and I'm driving or I'm walking. But if I'm in a conference room and I'm listening to someone teach me something for 2 or 3 hours, I just can't, like, I just have ADHD. I'm just all over the place in my mind. But if I'm like doing something like making dinner or what have you, like, I think that's a great value, like such a great give back to the industry. And
Thanks.
It's cool. You find these little nuggets that you do throughout your journey and you don't even know you're really doing it until it's like someone stops you at a conference and they're like, hey, I listened to 20 hours of you guys. And you're like, whoa.
I know.
Someone joked, just being funny. One of my buddies in San Diego, I won't say his name, but he goes, hey, bro, I basically cuddled with you for 8 hours. He texted me. He's like, basically cuddled with you for 8 hours.
Funny.
He's like, I was like laying on the couch with you in my ears for 8 hours. Like, he's so funny. I'm like, you're hilarious, dude.
That's funny.
He's rad. Also, Justin, have you tried listening to podcasts in 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed?
Oh, for sure.
That's great.
Have you ever done it? Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
if you're ADHD like me, feels like you're drinking out of a fire hose. And like every now and then, you know who I like is God, there's someone that I listen to and he just kind of talks so slow. But then on 1.5, you're like, oh dude, I can keep with you the whole time. Like you can actually keep me entertained. You're like, he really
I wish we had 1.5 for phone calls.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do that. Like live.
I had
like customer service at 1.5.
I had someone call me today, much older, and just like, what's your name? Kara. Sarah? Kara with a K. With a K? And I'm like, oh gosh, like we need to fast forward this, please. Like I can't handle slow talkers. It's definitely not a great quality of mine, but slow talking is like my kryptonite.
I am not great. That's an area of sales that I struggle with is like, if I know someone's making a point, I'll just kind of like get to the end of the story. Yeah. And I feel rude sometimes doing it, but I'm like, I'm like, come on. We
gotta move this along.
We know where you're going.
Yeah.
Let's just get there and then let's go to the next thing. And let's.
Didn't we talk about that with you on the podcast when you're like a salesman and you're being sold and you're like, listen, bro, I've read all the books. I know you're going to do a couple like pre-closes on me. Just let's cut them out. You don't need to do it. Bottom line me. Let's get out of here.
I'm going to throw an objection. You're going to have a comeback.
Exactly.
Yeah. What is the technical term where you like try to like close them multiple times before you actually close them? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't even know.
It's not like there's a word for it.
I feel like the pre-close, you're onto it right there. It's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
But it's basically, it's the idea that you're closing the whole time.
Yeah, you don't close it, but you're like, so you're selling a truck and you're like, so basically, I mean, if all this works out, you're saying you're going to sign today, right?
The assumption.
The assumptive close. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Close.
I had the solar guy do that on me, but I warned him. I was like, listen,
don't close me.
And I could see him trying to eliminate objections like before he got there, right? So like I have both I love that I have both husband and wife today, so you guys can decide together today. Like he kept trying to like do all the check marks of the sale. I'm like, bro, you keep doing it. Come on.
It's like a timeshare presentation.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a fucking sales guy.
And is there any reason why you wouldn't be able to sign today? I love that question.
Yeah, they're doing that. He kept doing that to me.
Lack of money.
I just kept telling him, bro, get off script. I know you're on script right now. I love you for that. You're way more punctual at it than I am, but just fucking get off of it. The gym salesman guy did that to me too. It's like, so like.
They're running the Alex Hormozy playbook.
Have you guys walked with the gym salesman? It's fucking hilarious.
No.
I mean, they're good.
I've never gone to a gym that needed a salesman.
They
say,
I mean, the high level gyms, Equinox.
Exactly. They're like, would you like a glass of champagne while we tour the facility?
No, they start getting to your insecurities like early on.
That's rough.
And so They get you by the claws, dude. All of a
They're
sudden,
like,
they
so
know that
how
you
do you
have
feel about
kids.
your arms? I'm like,
And
I
they
don't
know, like, they
Yeah.
really dig into your motivation. They're like, so why do you want to work out? You know, I'm getting older. I got 2 young girls now. Da da da. Oh, what's their name? Sailor. And then fast forward 45 minutes later, they're like, as you're not signing, they're like, what's Sailor gonna do when she leaves you? And you're just like,
No.
mother effer, you're good.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so good.
Don't get sold by a gym. They'll get you.
Yeah.
They'll get you, and then it's like always like 30% off if you sign up for 2 years at a time, and then you look at like I was like I have a home gym too, and then I have a gym membership, and I've been traveling a bunch, so I've been to the gym like maybe once or twice a month, and I was thinking about my monthly payment, and then I've gone twice.
The ROI is really bad.
Oh man, that is an expensive hour and a half, but you gotta have it. Yeah.
I've got one thing that just popped in my mind while we're talking about sales. I'm sorry. Our neighborhood just got fiber internet.
Nice.
But,
congratulations.
But pro tip, all you have to do to cut your internet in half is call your current provider and try and cancel.
Right.
And as you're on the phone.
It's loyalty.
Like, just call everyone that's listening to this right now. Just call your internet provider. I don't care what you're paying. And just be like, hey, guys, I want to cancel. And they'll send you to a special department that will – and then you can just stop right there and be like, we'll let them talk. They'll be like, hey, I heard you want to cancel. What's wrong? Oh, I'm going to switch to fiber. And then they'll be like, well, what if you paid – what do you pay now? Okay, what if you paid $50?
Yeah.
And then just be like, okay, cool. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Yep.
It's true. Right. The credit card annual fees, a lot of times you can get away with that too.
Ooh. I think –
those big Amex ones – you call them and they have a loyalty department.
Yep.
Everyone does,
I think that any subscription, I think you should do this on like an annual basis. Like every subscription you have, go to cancel it. And there's always like that, they ask you that last question, even on like the app. So like, hey, if you want to.
Do you want 6 months free to stay on?
6 months free to stay.
Yeah.
Class pass. You're exactly right. Yeah, I'm going to put.
I think Netflix is the only one that doesn't do that.
Netflix is like, later.
Like every month goes up. Like, what is happening, Netflix?
They don't give a shit. Yeah.
I
think YouTube TV is like that too.
Yeah. When I sign up for subscriptions now, I'm going to put a 6-month little tickler that I check in and cancel.
There you go.
There should be an app for this.
There is.
Is there?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Rocket Money. It tells you when you can combine apps and when you're paying for double subscriptions, and it tracks your spending. And see, I'm guilty of this because I have Apple One, but then I also have another Apple storage subscription. I'm I don't think that should be happening. But then it's we signed up as a family sharing one before family sharing came out, so I think that's part of the issue. And then my girls are like, no, you can't take away this one because that's where all my apps are. So I feel like I'm double paying there, but it'll tell you what you're paying and what you can get rid of, because a lot of people have double that they don't even realize.
Ooh,
I need another hack for you guys.
What's up?
I got another one. Life hacks on Trade Talks, but this episode all about life hacks. No, clean email or unlister. You guys play
clean email? No, neither. I haven't heard of either of those.
Okay, so I get so many emails on every email account I have.
Yeah.
But every 3 to 6 months, there's these apps. The paid for one is Clean Email. Watch, Kara, I can show you as we're doing this, but it tracks all your subscriptions.
Oh.
And so right now, this is Fun Guy. I got on Instagram about one of those mushroom drinks that an alcoholic. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've been there. I've done that. Yep. I think you and I are in the same algorithm.
Dude, I got Star Walker Organic Farms. I did a meat order. Lineage Provisions, Tito Care, Van Man Company. I bought some soap. But all these
Van Man.
I don't know, dude. He got me. Oh, that was good. It's like
You smell like a guy who lives in a van.
he makes him out of a van.
Oh, okay.
Great marketing on Instagram.
Super
Shout out to
organic.
Van Man. Fucker. I paid like $45 for like a little
bar
thing of
soap.
rosemary soap.
Oh, he
Good.
gotcha.
Exfoliating.
But you can just like
No, you just
unsubscribe from
instantly-
there.
So you know how like you got to unsubscribe from the emails,
Right.
You can just bulk, so you don't even have to scroll through. You can hit select all and bam, unsubscribe to everything in your email, and then it sounds like you're gonna miss something, but so like I have been down the rabbit hole of sending mass emails, and I know that there's like laws that govern it.
Yeah.
And so you have to have a 2-click system to get out of those. And then it's also totally separate. So like say you get something from Southern California Edison and you unsubscribe from that and
Oops.
you're worried that you're going to unsubscribe from like your bill.
Yeah.
That's a total different system for them.
Okay.
So like when you do this, you don't have to worry that you're going to unsubscribe from legit stuff.
Like your credit card bill.
Yeah, like everything comes to my email. But this is literally just marketing stuff.
Okay.
And it's just this stupid bulk shit that fills up your inbox that you have to delete before you can get to the actual stuff you
Right.
need.
Well, and I think nowadays too, like you sign up for an email and then they sell your email and then you get added to these like new random lists that you didn't ask for. And yeah, I have a system where every morning I'm like, oh, okay, I get about 35 spam emails. I'm just delete. So I'll have to check that
You
out.
got to use clean email.
Cool.
It's,
That's a great.
it's so worth it. And you should wait till you do it once. And like for the next 24 hours, you'll be like, son of a bitch, I didn't get one email. Like,
There you go.
it's just all the junk's gone.
Yeah.
There's so
Nice.
much junk in the emails
There
these
is.
days. And now in the text message. Have you guys been getting hit with the text message spams?
So annoying.
I can't stand it. It's like, I don't know how, but I get 1 or 2 a day. I got to fix that.
Hey, are you in town? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, what are these? It's so weird. And then the spam on
Haven't
social
seen you for a
media.
while.
The spam on social media is so crazy. Like the things that people try to pull over on like Facebook where they're like, oh, this young man lost his father and he's started a mobile detailing company and he's the very best. You should definitely call him at this number that starts with like 957 area code. And you're like, where the heck is that? And at least Facebook has like spam filters. But I'm like, is that what we've resorted to as a society where we just try to scam people on social media? Like, give it a rest.
And it's always emotional. It's always
know.
something like that. Like so-and-so died.
Oh, I
You're
just
like,
moved to town and I'm trying to find a new church. And that ends up being
Yeah.
spam. I'm like, what the heck? Like, we can't even let people post about their church anymore. Like, come on.
People I don't like in my phone now, I change their name to Scam Likely. If I was
That
still in
is
the
so
dating
good.
world, all my ex-girlfriends would be Scam Likely.
Why are you texting scam likely again?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's funny.
That is so
Classic.
good. So I wanted to ask, like, this is so fun, and I know people are enjoying the conversation, but I wanted to ask you guys about the HOA management that you guys do. Like you guys get to talk to all these people every day on your podcast and all the different worlds they work in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested in what you guys do. So Kara, I'll start with you. You've been in property management for a long time. Like,
It'll
what's
be
your
30 years in April.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So what's your like day to day? What do you do for HOAs?
So it depends. Like right now, I'm covering an on-site. We had a staffing change and I had to jump into action as the leader of the team. And I've been on site every day since January 5th as a general manager, like an interim general manager. But what my normal day-to-day looks like is I have a team of 16 managers that I lead. And between the 16 managers, we have 55 communities that we are in charge of. And in a lot of cases, that's the size of a small management company or even a mid-sized management company.
Oh, for sure.
And so, I'm there to support my team. And thankfully, working where I do now, I don't have to directly manage my own communities and then also lead people. So I get to 100% lead the team and really like coach and mentor. And so really like day to day, you know, I'm available for escalations. I'm available for support of the team. Hey, I need to bounce something off of you. I do a lot of review, like a lot of work product that goes out for our team. I'm in charge of reviewing and doing that final seal of approval. I need to keep track of all of my team's annual deadlines, all of our civil code requirements. Oftentimes I attend meetings, you know, when there might be service concerns or they want to escalate. Or if I have somebody that's new to the industry, because I have someone that started in July, brand new to the industry that I'm closely mentoring. So we're kind of like co-managing a lot of communities. And then that's like my day job. And then on top of that, I get to do the podcast. Yeah. And then I also serve on 2 committees with CAI Orange County. And then I serve on the National Managers Council for CAI. And so I get to do a lot of really cool stuff. And I'm very thankful for the company that I work for because it affords me that opportunity, because not everyone has that luxury to be able to lead a team and also have the autonomy to do all these extra things. And then on top of that, I get to go on a ton of amazing vacations because I have the autonomy to travel and take time off, which is so awesome. But yeah,
shout out to Seabreeze for having unlimited PTO.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really cool. But I really thrive on, my heart is just really making people understand why I've been doing this for 30 years and how I've been successful, and imparting that knowledge on people so that they want to stay in this industry, because we've seen a pretty big attrition of people exiting the industry or going to the vendor side, because it's tough. And I said it early on in the show, it's a tough industry, but there are really some critical keys to being successful, and organization is one, and doing what you say you'll do and doing it in the time you say you'll do it. That to me is what really makes people successful in this industry, because people trust you and they rely on you. And then if you do have a misstep, they give you some grace, because by and large, you're like really consistent and trustworthy. So that's usually where I see people struggle, is if they can't stay on top of their deadlines and they're not, you know, following through, or they're not circling back. I have a motto on our team: you have to close the loop. You don't just fire off emails out into cyberspace and just hope for the best and hope they come back like a boomerang, because they don't always come back. I mean, I had a situation earlier where I emailed a vendor on January 29th. I hadn't heard back from them. I followed up yesterday and they said, "We were waiting for your response." I go, "Here it is. I sent it to you on the 29th. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And I was like, but if we're not following up and we're just waiting, then it's not getting done. So closing the loop is such a huge thing for me. But I mean, I fell into this industry as everybody does. And I started on the multifamily side and then moved into HOA like after 15 years. So I've been like 15 and 15. And I mean, it's an amazing career. And I have a lot of people that have joined the industry because they've seen me and they're like, "What do you do? That looks fun. Like, tell me about it." Like, my neighbor was working at Lids as a store manager, and he saw what I was doing, and he was like asking me where I was going and all the things. And I told him, and he applied at First Service, got a job. And now he has gone from community manager to senior manager to general manager to leaving the company and going to another management company doing their business development. And his career has completely skyrocketed. And the craziest thing is, he made the move right before COVID. He would have lost his job if he had stayed with Lids, because all the retail was struggling. And his wife, same thing. She would have lost her job. She also made the jump to First Service, and now is an AGM, where she started as like an architectural coordinator. So I just I have a passion for the industry, and I share it wherever I can go. And then a lot of times people are drawn to that. So I kind of just incorporate that into my daily, but I guess that was probably the long answer.
I love that. You make it sound fun. You make it sound, and I truly believe like almost any job is fun as long as you have the right people you're surrounded yourself with. And it sounds like you've built this team. And my question is, when did you go from managing and most people listening to this podcast are landscapers or tradespeople. So
Sure.
they probably understand this. A lot of them work in HOAs. So how'd you go from managing properties, managing HOAs to then managing people? What was that transition like? Because I think that's a transition most people struggle with, and a lot of them never take the leap even though they want to.
Right. So in my previous company, I had worked my way up into leadership, and then an opportunity came my way where they're like, hey, we have this general manager role. We really think that you'd be really great at this. And so they kind of pivoted me into this new role, and I did that for 8 years. And interestingly enough, right around the time of the podcast, like I was realizing like my talent is leading people. Like I have so much passion to give to this industry. Like my community that I was managing at the time was so dialed in. I really had gotten to a point where I was bored, and I was like, I'm not using my potential. And my girls had grown at that point. And so I was like, okay, they're both going off to college, and I'm bored at work, and I have all this potential. Like I need to pivot. And the first thing I did was reach out to Mike and say, let's start a podcast because I'm bored. And he was like, yeah, I'm in. And then I got recruited, and I had, the owner of Seabreeze reach out to me through LinkedIn and say, I want to have coffee with you. We have a VP role, and I think you'd be great. And I was like, oh, what? I'm not looking for a job. He's like, let's just have coffee. I was like, yeah, I'll always have a conversation. And in that moment, we had coffee, and he was just telling me like all these amazing things and what his vision for me was. And it was actually one of the first times in my career, believe it or not, where someone really sat me down and says, this is what we see in you. This is what we see you can do. And we want you to come and do it with us. And I was like, I went home that day and I was like, whoa, I'm like, this is like kind of earth shattering. And it just kind of aligned with everything that was going on in my life. And I was like, yeah, this sounds really cool. But I'll tell you, leading people is not for everyone. And I've always said, like, just because you're really good at your job does not mean you will be a good leader in that job. Like you have to really have to really know your people. You have to know their strengths and how to coach them. And like in my world, like I think you have to walk alongside them to be a good leader. Like you can't just sit in an ivory tower and be like, do this, do this, do this. Like exactly why I'm an interim general manager. Nobody asked me to do that. I just knew it was the right thing because I didn't want the client to suffer. And so I jumped in, and it was funny. I was having a meeting with my boss earlier, and she's like, where are you? I go, I'm on site where I have been for like the last 6 weeks. And she's like, oh yeah, that's right. And it's just, that was a thing. But my team sees me doing the same things that they're doing, and that makes them want to work harder. And so that's what I try to foster is like, we're all working really hard. I wouldn't sleep if someone said, Kara doesn't work as hard as me. Like my team, they all jump in for each other. They all want to have each other's backs because they all see that we're all hustling. And I think that comes from the top personally.
I completely agree. I think you set the tone and you hold the standard of your team. And it's clear that you've found something that you're passionate about. Because so many other leaders in that position would assign someone to that community to be cited,
But
and
I
you're
also
like,
knew my team.
I'm gonna handle it.
My team was completely at their capacity at the time, and so that to me means like that's my chance to jump in. I mean, not to say that I'm not at capacity because I absolutely am all the time, but it's like I can't in good conscience just be like, you'll do that, right? Like, no. It's just there's a time and a place. And so I'm able to tap into the team when I need them, of course, but there's certain things that I think are my responsibility. And I've actually, it's interesting being back on site because it's been a while for me. And it's like, it's been rejuvenating. Like it's different, I'm interfacing with people because most of the time I'm remote. And so it's nice like having a board president just walk in your office and want to chat. So it's been cool.
That's such an awesome story. And it sounds like you're in a great spot. Like you're enjoying what you're doing and you're finding fulfillment in that process of helping other people on your team elevate and hopefully like find their position, and
absolutely.
Wow. I also shout out to the owner of Seabreeze for pulling you aside and doing that.
Right?
Because I think we all need someone to believe in us at some point in our life to make that jump.
100%.
And that was massive, it sounds like.
100%.
Wow. Great story. Like,
Thanks.
yeah, kudos for you too of like, I'm the same way with landscaping. I'm like, this industry is amazing. Come be a landscaper. And like,
Right.
I've convinced so many of my friends to either join the industry or start their own business in their own trade. Just like get involved. Like if you know a trade or you are good with your hands and you're a roofer, like start a roofing business if you don't like the way the owner's running the company. And like, it's not the end of the world. It's not that hard.
Totally.
So Mike, how about you, man? You're
I don't want to follow that at all.
I was like,
what the hell, Justin?
I could see your face. You're like, I know I'm next, and
Oh, Jesus.
God damn it! I mean, your co-host set you up, dude.
You know what's funny though too is like if you ask other people in our industry like, what do you do? They're like, so anyways, they just change the subject. They're like, they don't even want to talk about it. They're like, oh, I'm a community manager, but yeah. So what are you doing this weekend? Are you like just glaze over it? But no, Kara truly walks the walk, and that's why she's so amazing. So I'll just kind of tell my story.
Yeah.
So I started as a manager too, and right out of high school, I got my real estate license, and I wanted to do real estate, right? Like back then, it was like 2003, and you could buy like realtors I knew that were like 25 were driving Rolls Royces and they were like, dude, I remember this guy doing the wholesale mortgage business, and he drove a Rolls Royce. He was like 25. I for sure just thought he was a drug dealer. I'm like, what is this guy doing? He bought like a house above me, like in the sickest neighborhood. And so anyways, I wanted to get in real estate, right? So I got my real estate license, but I was also needed a job. So I was bartending, and one of my like high school groups, one of the dads of this girl that I dated came in, and he's like, Mike, like, dude, you're Kirsten's buddy, right? And so we started talking. Tell him what, I want to be a big real estate guy. And he goes, dude, I just started a commercial real estate company. You should come work for me. And I knew that if I told girls at 18 that I worked in commercial real estate, that they would date me.
Totally.
Like I was like, dude, wait till I get a fucking business card that says commercial real estate. Like I am pulling chicks, dude.
And at that, that's like
Michael,
that's how every decision is made.
At 18 as a man, I'm sorry, but probably I was trying to get married, dude. I was trying to find that I was trying to marry up, dude. I did, by the way. That's later in the story,
right?
So I start working in management, and first of all, it was great, dude. It was like college. It was like school of the hard knocks. I still think so. One thing I pride myself in, I'm literally family best friends with every boss I've ever had in my life since I've been 13. Like literally every single one that I've ever worked for, have always remained close. But I swear my first commercial real estate boss used to fuck with me. Like he would try and break me. Like he would send me on these missions. Like I remember like trying to so there's this community that had all these irrigation valves, and the city couldn't figure out which valves that the property even had, right? So he'd send me on these missions of like, all right, so you got to go out to this big commercial industrial site, figure out every number on every backflow.
Oh gosh.
And then have the city like transfer them into the name of the association, because the city won't recognize it as separate. Well, and I'm going,
you're like, what?
What? What am I gonna do? Where do you find
How am I even gonna figure this out?
Where do you find the serial number on a backflow? Like, what are you talking about, dude? But so it was like school of the hard knocks. I loved it, dude. It was epic. I did it for 5 years.
Yeah.
And then
wow.
That guy was just like full mentor. He's always been just an amazing guy. He's always really pushed people. Like he's one of those bosses that really cares and listens. And like I was always like wanting to be out of like front facing, out of the office, sales, whatever. And he would see me like, doing budgets and stuff, sitting in the office like, dude, this is not like your thing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can do it if I'm forced to. But so he pushed me into kind of the whole sales and vendor area. So one of our big vendors was a landscaper, New Way Landscape in San Diego.
Nice.
And another legend, this guy Randy Newhard. And the first day I started for him was a marketing golf tournament, and we drank a whole bottle of Jaeger.
Oh my God! What?
It was
The
epic.
first day you like
my.
black out. Like I found my
Yeah,
home.
this is blacked out.
God, that's
Actually,
terrible.
I had
It
met
sounds
him before.
so bad.
That sounds gross.
He had taken me out golfing, like kind of like in a marketing capacity, right? Like when I was still a manager. But just super fun dude. So anyways, got into landscape sales. And then that's when I feel like I started my career. It was like I had like school of the hard knocks background in management. I could talk the talk. I was knowledgeable enough. And then once I got into like sales and marketing, that's when I think I started to take my stride. And so I did landscaping. Then I got my contractor's license and did construction for like 10 years. Love that. And then the firm I'm at now, Fenton Grant Law Firm, it's actually been 10 years here as well.
Wow.
And it was really cool. One of the managing partners just kind of saw me doing my thing. And one day he came up to me, and he's so funny. Like attorneys are so like confident, like just, but he came up to me, he's like, "Hey dude, I want to take you to lunch because you're going to work for us soon. So when you want to
matter of fact.
Yeah, he's like very matter of fact. I'm like, "Oh no, I appreciate that." He's like, "No, I'm serious. You're gonna work for me, but we'll figure that out later, dude. Like let's go to lunch and we'll talk." But so we do construction defect law, and it's a really interesting niche. We only do construction defects for homeowners associations and primarily condominium associations, and then even if you go deeper into the niche, high-rise buildings.
Oh wow.
So,
okay.
yeah, it's a trip, and it's like, I don't know, it's something like it's such a niche in our industry that talk about not going to school for, right? Or like talk about not planning on being in the construction defect world for high rises. But so an example would be in San Francisco, there's this building called the Millennium Tower, and it was built, I mean, I can't remember how many stories, but it's like the most luxurious high-rise condominium building in San Francisco, and it's a really long story. We did a podcast about it, but long story short, the pylons that went into the bedrock basically started to move, and the building started to kind of lean. So that's exactly the kind of stuff that our firm handles.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's interesting. We've done, I mean, I think now we're around 80 different high-rise buildings like that, which is like more than any other firm. And I couldn't speak higher enough or higher about my firm. Like I'm so proud of the buildings we've done. The whole San Diego skyline is like, when you look at every residential building, it's like, yeah, we represented them. So it's
awesome.
a trip. Yeah, it's a really cool niche, and I don't know, it's a weird industry because like it's when buildings are built, California law gives them like 10 years, generally speaking, to find if they have a defect. And again, I don't want to talk your guys' ear off about that, but even that has a bunch of different shorter terms for different components. But it's interesting because a building's built and they'll start having issues, and they'll kind of go, "Hey, is this an issue?" And we're like, "Yeah," but nothing really happens. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if you would call it a sales cycle, in the legal world, they don't really call it a sales cycle, right? But like for me, I don't go and talk to 7 Millennium Towers a month and sign them up to represent them.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like 10 years down the line.
Slow game.
It's the most strange. So like I used to, when I'd sell in different capacities, you had a lot of easier way to like measure metrics and, you know, like really stay
what's your
by
close rate and sales cycle?
And it's such a different world in the construction defect world. So for better or worse, like I mean, I love it. It's just interesting how it's also cyclical, right? So like when you look at real estate and, you know, just it's cyclical, right? So 10 years ago now, what was that? 2016, the building world has kind of taken stride again, right? And they're building a lot in Southern California.
Yeah.
So that stuff that they built 10 years ago is now just kind of hit our radar of having these big defects and approaching kind of the end of that 10-year California statute. So that's when, it's like, just like the real estate goes up and down, it's like our industry will have these years where all of Irvine was built in like 3 years. So then 10 years away from that, it's like, that's when they all called us like, hey, so it's a trip. I don't know. But I'm super passionate about it. Like I really feel like, and I see it making a difference for these homeowners that buy these, they bought the nicest condominium building that they could ever afford, and they stretch themselves thin, and then all of a sudden their roof is raining, and they're like, what the hell? And then it's a lot of times like, and this is not a knock to our industry, it's a hard, like I put myself in the shoes of these homeowners, but like the roof technically may or may not have, like a defect, and maybe they can't get a hold of someone to fix it, or they don't even know who to call. Like sometimes it's like the struggle for them is real. So I feel like I'm really helping just that average homeowner, like get their buildings fixed, which I love it. Like, and you see, I've literally made board members cry. I've made them like scream, like, so they'll meet us, and it's like a process. Like it can be, it can be a year, it can be 2 years. Like, it can, it's definitely a long legal process. Everyone is different, of course, and it totally depends on what we're doing. But, it's like they'll meet me, and then they start the process, and then they come to the end. And a lot of times, again, I'm talking too much, but the way it like finally fizzles out is like the developer's insurance will say, hey, look, this is what we're going to pay you to kind of settle and pay and fix everything.
Right.
So they'll end up with this like monetary settlement at the end. And again, every single one is different, but that's common. And so they'll get this monetary settlement, and they get this check for, $5-10 million and just freak out. They're like, oh my God, or, whatever it is. So I've literally had board members like cry and just go, you don't like, when I met you, I never thought this would happen. I know it's cool.
Yeah.
This one lady comes to mind specifically, and she was just like, you're an angel. That's sweet.
Awesome.
She was very sweet. It's cool. It feels like you made an impact.
Yeah.
It's rewarding. I mean, they're probably to a point where they don't even know if they're going to get any compensation. It's been so long, and they're probably looking at their budget and their reserves, and they're like, we don't know how we're going to pay for this.
Exactly.
And then you get that check for them. And I mean, that could literally be the difference of that association being in this stress cycle for the next 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, no one wants to be on the board, and every vendor is getting squeezed every corner, versus the opposite, where you get a good settlement and the vendors come in and actually fix things, and the reserves are healthy, and financially they're in a good spot. We've worked with HOAs in all different of those areas, right? The ones that have zero money and are in a bad spot, maybe because of previous issue or a board member or something. And then we worked for some that have really done well managing their money, and you have a different experience with that board. It's very different.
Oh yeah. I have a crazy story that it's really cool to see. Right when I started, and it's an example of what we do and just what you described, but right when I started, there was this big master community, and within the community there was 2 subs, and they're like, let's just call it Casa A and Casa B villas, right?
Yeah.
And Casa A Villas was managed by one management company, and the other sub, Casa B, was managed by another management company. And obviously, I'm not going to say who these management companies are, but one was like so professional, so on it, and ended up, advising their board of what was going on, and it could be a construction defect claim. And so they ended up retaining us and did the whole thing and got their settlement and fixed all their stuff 10 years ago. The other one, the manager was like, no, these aren't big problems. This isn't a construction defect, And long story short, they never made a claim. I'm not kidding you. 10 years down the line, they look like they're in different cities. And they're just across the one main road. And like you said, the community that was able to nip the problems in the bud, like at year 5 or 6 or whatever, and fix those issues that would just slowly keep becoming, like you put little Band-Aids on a small leak, and then 2 years later, it's a whole side of a building. It just keeps spiraling. So it's crazy for me to look at this like case study and see the one community that took care of their stuff and got it fixed early on. Oh, the other crazy part is I still do it. I go and you can pull up on like realtor.com or whatever app you use to buy homes, and you can see assessments.
Yep.
The assessments for the community that did and made a claim and fixed everything are still at like $220 last time I checked, and the community that did nothing is like $690.
Oh
Not making this up. I can literally,
Rough.
I can pull, because I tell this story to people sometimes because I'm like, dude,
it's a great sales story in a positive way.
Yeah, and my sales heart is just trying to do good and be honest, and like I'm not trying to trick people or do anything. I truly believe in it, and I like have pulled this up and be like, look, this is exactly like what happens if you don't fix things. So yeah, it's a crazy one, but yeah, I'm obviously passionate about what I do.
No, 100%. And I think every community has a culture, right, Kara? Like you probably work with some communities, and it's like there's good cultures and bad cultures, and
Totally.
I think like those cultures are rooted sometimes in those most basic decisions of what Mike just talked about. I mean, have you, Kara, ever experienced, I mean, I'm sure you have, going through that with a board that's either like, yes, let's fix everything, or let's kick the can down the road until maybe the next board comes in?
It happens all the time, and a lot of boards, like it's just like you said, it's a culture, because you'll see boards that are like, they understand that assessments are the only source of income for an association. You don't have revenue streams other than your assessments. And so I try to kind of make the comparison, like if you worked at your job for 10 years and you never got a raise, but inflation's at 20%, you would probably think there's something wrong with that, right? Well, yeah, of course. Okay, same concept applies for an HOA. You can't wear a badge of honor that we haven't raised our assessments in 10 years, thinking that you're going to end up with the right amount of money to make, to cover your expenses. And so it takes a lot of education. It takes a lot of confidence on the manager's side to really guide their boards. And a lot of times we'll see boards not being led. They're just let to kind of like left to their own devices. And then, 20 years down the road, they're like, hey, how come we don't have $5 million to replace our roofs? It's like, well, because you didn't want to follow our recommendations. So
yeah, it's crazy how one bad apple on a board can change the future for an entire community.
100%.
And it's like, unfortunately, people don't say fiduciary enough, but I've been in meetings. I love, and this has happened multiple times, where a community needs to pass a special assessment to do a big capital improvement. And like the classic one was like back when a lot of repiping was happening. And so like the thin wall copper was bursting everywhere, especially in South Orange County. And so everyone kind of had to repipe, and they're doing PECs and whatever they could. But there were so many town hall meetings where they're trying to get this passed, and I literally had multiple old people raise their hands and go, well, I'm not going to be alive in 8 years, so why am I going to pay $7,000 for my home when I'm not even going to be alive? And it's like, that dude's now on the board and has never even heard fiduciary in his service in Vietnam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
fiduciary wasn't a thing back then. But now that bad apple is going to change the future of a community, and it's going to be in ruins and, putting on Band-Aids for the rest of the life. It's like crazy to think about.
It really is. It's like it's hard, but if when people are voting for new members or new board members, if you can understand the motivations behind why someone wants to be on the board, I think you can avoid a lot of those. And we've had people join boards just to then go, like, they want to join the board because they want to like get rid of the management company, or they want to fire vendors, or they want to,
or they want the tree removed in front of their house.
Yeah, the opposite of fiduciary, right? It's a selfish reason.
The agenda board member.
Oh, that's never going to end well. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have a questionnaire as managers of like, what's your motive to get on the board?
No, we should.
You
though.
should. Like
that would be so insightful. Yeah.
It could be like just a list of boxes, and you have to check which one. And like the first one is like to be a responsible like fiduciary person, and then the next one is like to paint my house a different color, and then the next one's like because I want to reduce special assessment or like
they
reduce
always say
the budget.
that. They always say that.
Free soda.
Yeah.
Free snacks in the break room.
Yeah.
Guys, this has been such a great podcast, and I think we should take it in for a landing. But before we do, it's called Trades Talk. So what we do at the end of every episode is ask for a trades secret. And so I wanted to ask you guys, like, do you guys have a quote or a mantra or just anything that you've learned? I mean, you guys have shared some great stories just recently, but is there a trade secret that you guys want to share with our audience?
Didn't I hit my quota already? I gave you guys like fucking 3, bro.
Dude, I'm like the board member it's never good enough. I need more, Mike. Come on.
All right, Carrie, you go first.
Honestly, it's such a basic one, but do what you say you'll do. And it applies just in life. And like, I have found myself very disappointed at times in my life when people promise things or say they're going to do something and then they don't do it. And I think it just really drove me from a young age to always like, whatever I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. And it really just applies to this industry because that's how you build trust, and that's how you build lifelong, relationships with clients and board members and community members. And, it's a very simple thing, but I think it's lost on a lot of people, and that's just really what I live by.
I love it. It's simple, but if you do that, you're going to go so far in life. It's so true.
I mean, someday I'll have a plane. I don't know. Everybody seems to have a plane. So
if you say you want a plane, then you're going to have to go get a plane.
I just got Starlink, so I'm on the way.
Yeah, that's
Starlink's like the gateway product for a plane. So, so I love that one. And my dad drilled that into me over and over. But so Craig Stevens told me early in my career, never eat lunch alone. And
ooh, that's so good.
Yeah. And so as like a working professional, especially someone in a sales capacity, and truly to add value to your company, everyone should have a sales hat on at all times anyways. I think. Obviously, I've been in business development for a long time, but if you want to add value to your company, if you want to be more valuable and you want to raise and stuff, if you're bringing in sales, you have more value. So with that being said, the never eat lunch alone thing is like you kind of never know when you can be networking or not. And so like an example is being on a job block. Like if you're a landscape, say you're an account manager and you have a walk with a community manager, ask them right there, hey, I'm not doing anything for lunch right now. What are you doing? And
so good.
A lot of times those conversations, not only do they build relationships and they build trust, and like that's how we became truly family, close friends. But it's so amazing what they can lead to. And so at that lunch, especially when you're not a stupid, cheesy salesman, new business opportunities genuinely come up. Like you can be sitting at lunch with that manager, and while you're at lunch, someone will call her and just by chance go, dude, my landscaper sucks right now. And you're with them. So they think of you. So I think the never eat lunch hack or never eat lunch alone hack just applies to networking and building relationships. And it doesn't have to be with your immediate customer that you're having lunch with. You'd also be surprised how many different leads and opportunities can come from just anyone, kind of in your sphere. It's like, it's a trip. So I'm going to go with that one.
That's good.
And shout out to Craig Stevens. That's one of his early mentorship advice.
Shout out Craig. That's so awesome. And I would say like that goes for anybody. Like, I mean, you could have lunch in a sales capacity, but you can have lunch in a mentorship capacity, or like I'm even a fan of taking out quote unquote competitors, right? If you're on a bid walk and there's another landscaper, you're like, hey, what are you doing out of this? You want to grab lunch? Like, obviously you don't want to be like sharing pricing and stuff like that, but like you guys can talk. Like sometimes it's fun to have someone that you can share your frustrations with that knows what you're going through. Kind of like,
totally.
You know,
bro.
Like you guys do that in the podcast. So it's like, so I think that's like, don't take that advice. Have lunch with people every day and don't stop with just your clients, mentors, competitors, channel partnerships. It's all good.
I love the competitor one because like I'll try and vent about my job to my wife and she doesn't know fucking construction defect. Like she doesn't like, I can't actually vent, but if I go like Ashley Hibbler and I one of my, like they're like a huge competitor, but we've been friends forever. And like her and I will see each other at luncheon and vent so fucking hard. And it feels so like, it's coming from the bottom of our souls because we both know like the bullshit and you know, like it really feels good to vent together and also go like, okay, well that's a good way to fix that. But you get, you know, not only does it help vent, but you can, okay, well, yeah, that happened to me and this is what I did. And it does, you don't have to reveal numbers and secrets and shit. You can genuinely give personal tips to help their life, you know, and like whatever. So yeah, I love it.
Well,
all right.
Well, great talk. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you so much. This was great.
Oh, great stories. And as a reminder to everybody listening, go check out HOA Pros Podcast. And if you are in the property management world and you're needing continuing education units and hours, there is a cheat code out there. So you can check out their accredited podcast. Is there any specific instructions to get accredited, or do you guys, is there a website? How do we do that?
Yeah, the website is the HOAProsPodcast.com. And then there's a tab that says accredited podcasts. There's a list of all 21, and then, you know, links through Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever they listen to. And then the instructions are on the podcast. So you just click it on and it kind of walks you through it. It's simple.
You guys are pros.
Thanks.
Thanks, bro. You too, man. It was a pleasure.
This was fun. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. It was so good seeing you guys again, and I look forward to crossing paths sometime soon.
Totally.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Trades Talk, where the next generation of disruptors comes to raise the bar. If you got value from today's episode, share it with someone in the trades who's ready to level up. For more tools, insights, and community, follow host Justin White and join the movement at jwhitegroup.com.